to, I say winter is coming!
Foghorn Leghorn, riding a dragon, in drag. So it's not just bugs then. I approve. This was the only Looney Tunes style shirt I had. It's the only thing I had. It does say, yeah, cocky. It's the only one I had. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Space Jam: A New Legacy. So, I'm gonna do spoilers in this review. I spoil the hell out of this movie. Because really, in the end, it's just Space Jam, so who cares? And you can't really talk about this movie without spoiling it. So, there's your warning. In the end, I'm sure you don't really care, that's why you're here. I did review the original, link down below, or maybe I'll use this thing, that thing that will pop up now and then, if I remember to do that. So, go check out that review. But now it's time to review this one. And critics hate this movie. Critics hate this. But general audience doesn't mind. Like, it's actually doing pretty well in terms of general audience. So where do I fit in? Well, let's talk about this movie. It starts off much like the original, showing a young Lebron getting a Nintendo Game Boy from a friend and starts playing Crazy Castle. It's just giving me angry video game nerd flashes. Which basically a distraction from the basketball game he is playing. And God, the coach just grinds him about this, so that he could change his life. Ah, America and sports. He's also a kid with many other options, but it ends with him throwing the Game Boy, given to him by a friend, by the way. It was given to him by a friend, but he throws it away in the trash to focus on basketball. And this is why LeBron became a great basketball star, by not being distracted. I mean, sure, he's then distracted by basketball to not succeed in, anything else, like acting. But at least he can throw a ball in a hoop. And then the opening credits, which do feel similar to the original, so I do like this. So yep, turns out distracting himself from basketball also distracted him from being a good father. The sons are playing around outside, and the youngest kid, who is like the main character of all this, he is playing a basketball game on something, but not only that, he made the game himself, which plays a huge role in this, and I knew the game was important in some way. I said in my trailer reaction video. But then the brothers start playing basketball, and little dude misses, and it's all fun and games in the end. People miss shots, but their dad is there like a horror movie. Like seriously, just put like a horror sound over it, and it's just, what the hell, dude?
What was that? And if you're gonna be out here, it's about giving everything that you got, and not whatever that was.
He comes off as such an asshole. Like, it's absolutely in your face what kind of movie this will be, and that'll be all about, like, him and the son in the end. And that, to me, is kind of a problem. Michael Jordan was at least good to his kids, and what was shown to have, like, different goals and dreams and all that kind of stuff. Well, it does feel like they're trying to be with the kids. Just, oh yeah, kids only care about video games. Which, let's be real, is one of the biggest markets in the world right now. What company isn't trying to get into gaming these days? Google with Google Stadia. Amazon has a gaming studio now. Facebook took over one of the VR systems. So, the kid is going to be fine. So then we are introduced to the serververse within Warner Brothers Studios. Literally, and even more literally. And get to see the villain, Algae Witham. Yep, that's his name, Algae Witham. He has been trying to find the perfect person to help him, and he goes on that LeBron is more than a basketball player. He is a king with millions of fans around the world. God damn, Betty was happy to get called that. Also, there's more than America in the world, guys, just to say. Like, I know they did the same in, like, the first Space Jam with Michael Jordan, but it's definitely way more here. So it sounds like the bad guy created this technology that Warner Brothers is going to release, but he got trapped in the serververse somehow? Which is never really explained. Did Warner Brothers trap him there? That's oddly evil of them. It's really confusing. Like, was he a real person, or was this like, or something, or like, he is just like an algorithm, like that's the whole thing, is like, yeah, he's an algorithm. So, is he a real person? It's so confusing. And so he wants King James, as he calls him, to then use his fame and his technology to get respect and recognition he deserves. I mean, in that case, get PewDiePie, Markiplier, Logan Paul even. Think they're more popular, or well, known worldwide, than an American-based basketball player. Just saying. So he sends a message to someone at Warner Bros. To do with his tech and who they should use, I guess. We then see, like, the kid's game and how he, like, makes it. And I get this is a movie with Looney Tunes, but it also has real people in it, and it's meant to be real to a point. So how does, like, the kid have technology that doesn't exist? Apparently, like, it's an app he created? So he's a genius? That never gets brought up, but he's that smart. But also, like, why is he scanning spiders and snakes for a basketball game? It'll come back later, won't it? At the same time, the game doesn't look that great. Why do they always make games look so simplified or just so fake when they create their own? Also, Proof, he only knows basketball, but he doesn't even know how to dab decently.
Did you just say, please dad, dab?
No, I said please.
Dab.
So Lebron got invited to Warner Bros. And we see this algorithm guy talking, and we see Space Jam. It is just a movie. So this very much is a different world then, and it's not like Michael Jordan ever did anything with bugs. That was all a movie. So they better stick to that now. Now that they showed it, it's just a movie. So this technology basically scans a person, and they can then put that person in any movie. Which LeBron is just like, the hell? But, which I do appreciate. But his excuse is like, athletes acting never goes well. So basically giving shit to himself, and then also Michael Jordan. Which is like, hey, don't do that. But also, what's his other excuse? I can't take time away from basketball. Yikes. They reject the idea, which pisses off the villain, but the kid likes it, so you can see him maybe thinking of using a kid, which, yeah, he does. They argue, and LeBron finds out his son wants to go to an E3 gaming camp, but, like, E3 has a game camp? Huh? Okay. Like, he wants to do that instead of going to a basketball camp his dad wants to go to. But yeah, I looked it up and found ads for E3 camping. So LG tricks the kid and takes him into the serververse, and then takes LeBron. They end up in the server world, and you know what? I like the visuals. I like how this all looks. But then these jokes of, like, Siri and the computer is black, and it's just a...
Hey Siri, you let us out of here, please?
Siri, nothing to be afraid of.
The computer's black.
I can see that.
So far this movie hasn't been good. I will say that. It hasn't been good. I hate LeBron at this moment, or at least, like, the character he is playing, which is himself. Yeah, I don't like him. I really don't. You're meant to, you know, root for him or whatever, but I don't like him. But yeah, so LG takes the kid and sends LeBron away to the rejects, while showing off different Warner Brothers worlds as they do. And you know what I don't like? Calling the Looney Tunes rejects. You know, they did the same kind of thing in the original. When it's like they made Warner Brothers a household name. It just doesn't sit right with me. I get it. They're crazy and all that. But still, you know, it's Warner Brothers calling their own characters rejects and all that kind of stuff. I get it. It just doesn't really sit right with me, you know? Honestly, though, as he falls into the world, the basketball ring smoke and the Nike advertising little crack was smart. I'll give him that. What I don't like, though, is how he just understands how cartoon physics suddenly work before he even says, I'm a cartoon, before he even really realizes what's going on. But here's where the film picks up a lot for me. From here on out, I started to enjoy myself. I like the look of the cartoon world, for one, and I'm more intrigued in what's going on, and it just keeps getting better in my opinion. Yes, it looks different from the original film, and that kind of animation generally, you know, looks better, you know, it looks like there's a lot more attention to it than today's animation, but this still looks better than a lot of today's animation. You know, it's not Teen Titans Go, for example. They still put a lot of colour into it and everything. So the Looney Tunes world is looking pretty empty besides one. We know there's one person there, and soon we see it's Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
And again, I like the animation here. I do enjoy this cartoon look, but more importantly, he appears because of the duck season, rabbit season joke, and I really love that. But then how he just waits for LeBron to do his part like an excited kid, I love it.
Duck season.
Even if they kind of ruin it because haha memes.
Rabbit season.
All right, here. Now say, I'm hunting rabbits.
I swear memes just ruin today's movies and cartoons because it's gonna die out so quickly. So suddenly things get very chaotic. It could be seen as too much, and we begin to understand that he is the only one around. Everyone else left when LG appeared and said, hey, there's better worlds out there, go visit them. Bugs was the only one who stayed behind, because that's his home. He's basically doing all the jokes himself now, and honestly, there's some emotion to Bugs in this movie. He was honestly the best part, and I'm so happy to say that, because in the first movie, honestly, the toons get a little annoying. Like I mentioned that in my review, which you can go check out below, as I said before, they kind of get a little bit annoying. But the best part of this movie is honestly the toons. They're honestly the best part of this movie, which I will get more into. But yeah, in short, Bugs is going a little bit crazy. But again, it still works, as you see he just simply misses his family. So Bond tells him that he needs to assemble his team, and Bugs makes fourth wall jokes here.
You want me, a talking cartoon bunny, to play with you, an NBA superstar. Sounds awfully familiar.
But yeah, like, if the other one was a movie, then it never happened. But toons being toons, they know. But then there's this fourth wall break, which is like a real life kind of thing. It's just like, damn, that's hilarious.
He just left.
Kind of his MO, right? I mean, he left Cleveland, he left Miami, he left Cleveland again.
So Bugs tricks Marvin into coming down, and they take his ship and go off into space to find the others. Lebron is thinking, alright, let's get Superman, King Kong, the Iron Giant, all that kind of stuff. It's a good thing he remembers those are from Warner Brothers. But while that's happening, Bugs is looking at files of his old friends. And not only are they wearing, like, the old gear, which is great to me, but also, like, so did this happen? Or as I said, was it just a movie? Can't have both, guys. But I like it. But I also just like this scene, because we see, like, emotion for Bugs, that he feels embarrassed to show you him being vulnerable and all that as well. This, again, I just really like. So they first go to Metropolis to go get Superman while dressing up like Batman and Robin in a Bunnymobile. Very cute. And I am liking this art style, again, trying to mimic the original Superman cartoons in a way, like that I grew up on. But then they get the music for both Superman and Batman, which, yeah, I like this scene. But they're there chasing a train that's been hijacked by Daffy and Porky, who also try to save it. Sounds about right. Anyway, they get recruited instead of Superman, and next we get a series of great scenes that maybe just go, what the hell? I love this. They suddenly are in Mad Max's world, and Roadrunner and Wily are here, and this is just kind of hilarious to me, and Wily is looking kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie about that. This is great, and next is Austin frickin' Powers out of everything, with Elmer being Mini-Me. Okay, now I get it. But then Sylvester's a hellish cat. Little disappointed about that, or just more ill about this one. Like, no, not my boy Sylvester. I may like him. And then Yosemite Sam is in Casablanca, which works for the little joke.
Sing it, Sam.
Oh, you got baggage, lady.
Then we get Rick and Morty showing up, because of course they will. Because Rick and Morty is for kids. What would be a thing for kids without Rick and Morty showing up, am I right? They end up dropping off Tassie Devil, and then we see the scene from the start of the review, with Foghorn riding the dragon from Game of Thrones, which was kind of great, I'm not gonna lie about that. And then goddamn Granny and Speedy are in the freaking Matrix, which again, it's just great. Granny in this movie is pretty damn hilarious. But what about Treaty? Where's Treaty?
What year is this?
Sounds like they've been living inside Sylvester for a while. So, he could roar and you could just live in there? Noted. I mean, moving on. At last is Lola. She's in Wonder Woman's little world. Little disappointed it's another DC thing, which of course it is, that's Warner Brothers' big thing at the moment. But I do like the comic book style they did here. They at least changed it around from what you saw from the Superman stuff and did something interesting here, which I do like. But of course, you know, it's like, we gotta make her a strong female character in the end. You can even get called an official Amazon. That said, this is the only time she really does anything. So what about Pepe? I guess he isn't one of Bug's friends then, as Bug is trying to look for all his old friends in the end. So all this says to me is he isn't one of his friends that he cares about. This kind of storyline they're doing, and that's just kind of sad. That's really sad. I'm just saying. But showing guards is still okay to kids. Ha ha. So we see Algie interacting with the kid, tricking him into being on his side and being the captain of the team even, against his dad, and now we see the kid using the scans of a snake and a spider he took earlier. I knew it. This is then how the villains are made, which is why the villains look like spiders or snakes and that kind of stuff is because of this kid's game. So LeBron is now teaching the Toons how to play, and I really like that they're wearing their original outfits. But now I see Bugs being a bit of a dick. He's got his friends back, but still fooling around, not really caring and about getting his son back, but mostly because it's all about having fun, and he's trying to teach them that. Teaching them they are Looney, and it's just what they do. But he is being a bit of a dick in the process, I will admit. And so as they start arguing, done, it's time for the game, and now they turn 3D. And honestly, I am fine with this. I generally like the way they look. Bugs, Sylvester, Foghorn, all look great in my opinion. And it doesn't really take away from the Looney Tunes aspect and all that. But they do change it to new outfits, which is a bit weird. It's just to sell merch, let's be real. These kind of shirts are absolutely everywhere. It's kind of awful, really. I really like to see the old designs of merch, honestly, but no new shit all the way. But yeah, the only bad one is Lola. As a Toon, she looked fine, but they messed up real bad with her 3D form. I don't know what it is about her face, but I don't like it. But I got used to it, and I do like how everyone else looks. Everyone else looks great. And now trailer shot as the Warner Brothers characters appear. King Kong, Iron Giant, Scooby-Doo, Gremlins, Harry Potter, and so on. But they're all such cheap costumes if it isn't if they're not made in a CGI. I mean, fair enough, but they look more like cosplays. Either way, them being there, it's just advertising, as the critics like to say. I don't know what's the real point, really, as he then summons everyone else, thanks to the kid's app, to this place, bringing them all to the digital world, essentially. So having these characters in the audience isn't really necessary, but whatever. If they want to spend the money to do so, then that's on them. You know what they also spent money on making? Making sure Foghorn was real thick. Damn that booty. So, alright, here we go. The basketball match that takes up pretty much an hour of this movie, which is cool. That's cool. This is a very long movie. This is almost a 2-hour movie. But they're not actually playing normal basketball. They're playing the game the kid made. Not to mention Algie gave his son a big boost of power in the game, so he kicks LeBron's ass while he's completely lost and doesn't know what to do. But let's talk about them using the game real quick. The idea they're not playing real basketball, and critics complaining about that a lot. Who the hell cares? It's not like you can keep score at all. A score in a movie doesn't matter at all, because it's all bullshit numbers in the end. It doesn't matter, so them turning basketball into the Suns game, and what matters there is style points, just go for it. The points don't matter at all, because it never makes sense anyway. It's not like the bad guys will win because their points were higher. No, they will always lose, so it just doesn't matter at all anyway. It's more or less, you get a lot more visuals then. Yes, there are times when certain rules should be implemented in the game, when there's a spider, the spider villain keeps on knocking the ball constantly into the wing, and it's well, no, okay, that one shouldn't count because it should only count as one. You know, as it goes in, you then restart. That's the one thing I'll be no, okay. But at the same time, it's just more for visuals and all that kind of stuff. They can go wild and do whatever they want. Because, again, the scores don't matter at all. Spoiler alert, they win. And yeah, the other villains come in, and honestly, they're fine. I'm just enjoying the visuals pretty much at this point. Oh, and also the original villains do appear randomly, because I guess, yeah, they are then a movie property, you know? But yeah, I'm still enjoying this movie. It's done things I didn't expect. They've gone to all the different worlds and seeing, Wily and Mad Max's world. All the Looney Tunes stuff, I am very much enjoying. And now we are at the basketball part of the movie, and yeah, I'm still very much enjoying it. As compared to the original, everything just kind of flows a bit better. All the basic Looney Tunes jokes kind of work here a bit more better. They for once seem to have more of a set team. That was something I complained about. Like, Daffy is the coach on the team, and that never changes. Lola is always normally on the team, and they'll just kind of switch out characters here and there, but never suddenly add a character like the mouse guy in the original. So that for me is a plus. So the game goes on, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, and a decently funny part happens as they eventually summon a different dude that slows down time, doing the whole slow-mo thing we've seen a billion times at this point. But Roadrunner is on the field, and is then slowed down, getting all tied up, and put on a dinner table in front of Riley, and his little meeps are so cute. But I also think it would have been funnier if he was like moving normally at that point, and just kind of confused. But still, what happened was still funny to me. So they're not doing well, obviously, in the first half. So we get the big moment while Granny is drinking away. That's funny. She is so good. They made her so funny in this. Sylvester found Michael Jordan.
Is Ernest? You found him?
I can feel his power already.
Ooh, I can hear his shoes.
The actor.
Michael Jordan!
So, funny joke, I guess. I mean, it kind of was, but also a slap in the face. Like, just like how sad it is, especially like just like how sad Bugs was. Damn it, Sylvester.
I was just getting some popcorn, and then this cat grabbed me.
It's been 25 years. I thought he aged gracefully.
Also, like, again, do they know Michael then? Can't have it both ways, movie. So now LeBron realizes they're going to lose because they're just, like, playing like him. That's the whole thing. It's like they're trying to actually play basketball. So he agrees it's time for you guys to be you and play Looney. So they start being, well, Looney. Like, with, like, Wiley pointing out some of his inventions. And again, I like the visuals, I like the jokes. I think this all works much better than it did in the original. The 3D stuff really works here just fine in my opinion, and they don't really hold back. The movie does hold back from almost dropping an F-bomb.
Because that's all that matters, right? Is that you're having fun? That doesn't matter at all! What matters is that I win this game!
They muted it, not me. Also, Granny is the one. That's funny, and this moment with Taz is brilliantly cringe from LeBron, while also being a cool visual.
Taz!
But they ruin it by having Porky WAP. Do kids even care for WAP these days? This definitely feels like something that would have been in the first movie from, like, you know, the 90s. It comes out of nowhere and was forced in because companies don't understand kids today. It's dumb, and I will absolutely agree on that. But it's one scene out of, you know, the rest of the movie. So I'm not getting judged just because of one scene. In the end, LG ends up a play, and him all buff, and his death-worthy effects are bad. I would definitely agree to that. But, you know, whatever in the end. He's all cheating like a hoe, and in the end, they remember a glitch that happened at the start of, like, again, it's meant to be the kid's game, and it had a glitch that stopped the game, but also erased his character. LeBron was about to do that exact same glitch to help them win the game, but Bugs ends up doing it instead. And, you know what? It got a little bit of emotion out of me. He sacrificed himself. And they did a really good job with him. Like, he really does feel like he goes through an arc in this movie. Because, yeah, it looks like he freaking dies at the end. Going out in a pretty sad way, to be honest.
That's all, folks.
But yeah, of course they win after that. Bad guy is dealt with. Was he actually a real person to start with? Who knows? He just kind of disappears. He's dead, I guess, or something. That's the one thing I just don't understand. So then a week passes, and it looks like the kid is going off to play basketball at the end, which was like, really? But no, LeBron tricked him and took him to the E3 cab thing. But, like, the kid doesn't realize that until, like, he points it out. Which is why it's freaking fun of him. How did you miss that, kid? Goddamn movie logic. And then suddenly Bugs pops up, because he's a toon, he can survive anything. And, well, done. That's the movie. So, after all that, what do I think? This is a good movie. Straight up, this was a good movie. I came here to see Looney Tunes, and I got Looney Tunes. With that slight bit of emotion for Bugs, everything with LeBron, I didn't care for. It's very basic, his acting had problems, but not the worst in the end, trust me, there's worse out there. And so, I don't really care when acting is meh. The jokes were decent, the visuals were really nice. I think, there was a lot of use of color, maybe a bit too much, but I liked it. I liked the cartoon portions, that were some of my favorite parts, and yeah. I don't understand how critics just outright hate this movie, critics just hate it. And I don't really understand that. But you know what it is? Because I hate advertising. Do you remember the Power Rangers movie that came out not long back? I thought that movie was good. I liked it. It was decent. I thought critics wouldn't mind it too because of the way they did the whole storyline. It wasn't just all fighting and everything. But they hated it. And why? Because Krispy Kreme was in it. And that's all any freaking critic talked about, was the big thing she was looking for was under a Krispy Kreme. To me, that was freaking hilarious. Everyone else in the cinema was laughing at the time. Because it's oh god, of course it's under a Krispy Kreme, you know? It was funny. That's the joke. That's the joke, guys. Was it advertising? Sure, but they made a joke out of it, and that's what matters. It's not like it's Brad Pitt stopping in the middle of a zombie invasion to go drink a Pepsi. Yeah, that happened in World War Z. Now that's advertising. Critics really hate that stuff these days, and I just don't get it. So, in a way, this movie feels like one big advertising to people, but, everything that's shown isn't making you go and buy something. Game of Thrones failed, and it's done. Iron Giant is an old movie. King Kong, they finished all that. Hanna-Barbera, that's always been around. So what's the issue here? They're not trying to sell you things. Because what are they trying to sell? Old properties? So I don't understand what the problem is. Oh, now I feel like watching King Kong. Cool, let's go on that streaming service they don't own to go watch it. I don't understand. Because the whole point of advertising is to make you then go out and buy that product. That's not what they're doing here. Again, you would then watch it on a streaming service they don't own, because that's how, things work today. And okay, Nike is on their jerseys, but they also have a moment where he comes crashing down and makes that Nike logo. And to me, that's funny, so it's okay. If you outright scoff at advertising, then you need to sort out your priorities. Because, here's the thing. Looney Tunes living in Hollow Earth is okay, but then living in a data world at Warner Brothers along with other creations isn't okay? I'm fine with them all showing up, as it all kind of makes sense in some weird way when they use this kind of serververse. Anyway, I'm curious as to why some outright hate this movie, because I, for one, I kind of think I like this better than the original in some way. The original always have a place in my heart, don't get me wrong about that. But rewatching it is kind of tough, right? I feel like I could watch this one again, because I enjoy a lot of the Looney Tunes stuff in this one, a lot more than I did in the original. Yeah, once he's, in the cartoon world, as the first 20 minutes are waff, I will say. When it's just LeBron, I don't care. Compared to the other one with Michael Jordan, and a lot of people are like, oh, but Bill Murray is in it. Bill Murray's an asshole. I hate Bill Murray. He's an outright asshole. And going back and watching a lot of his old movies, yeah, no, he's completely deadpan. He doesn't give a shit. I don't care for him. I like Ray Knight. I like Ray Knight in the original Space Jam. He was great. He was funny. There are things that I do enjoy, because you don't really have any big actors in it. You have Don Cheadle, who is just a side character in Marvel. He's not a main hero. I just feel like a lot of people put that first movie on a pedestal because it was the first in nostalgia. But again, I feel like the Looney Tunes part of that movie is way too loud and obnoxious to be enjoyable compared to this movie. Whatever. In the end, I give Space Jam: A New Legacy 7 out of 10 foxes. I thought it was fine. There's bad movies out there, and this to me just isn't really one of them. It's not perfect by any means, but it's not that bad. I could easily at least see people giving it at least a 4 or 5, but the critics are giving it really low scores. It's really not doing very well, especially there's a lot of YouTubers who hate it, but then there's a lot of YouTubers who, like, oh, you're gonna hate me for my opinion on saying I like this movie, will be, like, in their thumbnails and all that, and it's just like, why? Who the hell cares what you like? If you like this movie, that's perfectly fine, because it's not that bad of a movie. Stop trying to just live on memes, and, there's so many people who watch this movie just so they can find memes, and, you know, they can't find it, so they fucking hate it. I hate people. What am I going on about? What am I going on about? Why am I stressing about people? I just, like, I don't know, I'm just defending this movie a little bit, because it's not that bad. It's really, really not. The whole idea that, like, there's a lot of people who hate it just because advertising. But what are they advertising? They're advertising their own stuff. And it's not, like, yeah, it's very much in your face. But you can't exactly go out and buy those products. You can't exactly go out and buy those movies. If you do, you just get a streamer on some other platform that they don't get the money from. So who the hell cares? You can say it's advertising for basketball. You can say it's advertising for Lebron. You can say it's advertising for Looney Tunes. You can say all that. You can say Marvel is... The entirety of Marvel is advertising for merchandise. How much... Like, there's so much Loki merchandise already. And it's ridiculous. Like, after, like, that big episode came out where they showed all the different variants, like, Alligator Loki... Guess what? I kept seeing a whole bunch of merchandise for Alligator Loki right after that episode aired. And it's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. Now that, to me, is advertising. What Space Jam did is not advertising. It's just showing off, you know, it's just showing off what they have done. You know, they're proud of what they've done. So... I don't know. I'm gonna defend the crap out of that. I'm gonna defend their so-called advertising. Anyway, what did you think of this movie? Let me know down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon. And as Fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now. Sorry about the rant.